And now to the mystery involving top secret military documents.
This morning, there are growing concerns over the security of the United States defense secrets after classified U.S. documents about Ukraine's war effort and military strength were possibly leaked. Photos of the allegedly top secret documents were recently posted on social media, but different versions of the documents have surfaced since they first appeared online in March, some citing a number of Russian military casualties in the war in Ukraine, a number significantly lower than the Pentagon's estimates, fueling speculations the documents were altered. To dig in, we're joined by NBC News global security reporter Dan DeLuce. Dan, good morning. So what can you tell us about these documents and exactly what they reveal?
You know, it's quite extraordinary what's appeared online. These are definitely not meant to be seen publicly. These are classified documents, and U.S. officials believe they are genuine, although that's still being verified. And it really does offer a glimpse into U.S. spying on Russia's war machine, and it gives a frank assessment of what the U.S. feels is the state of the war in Ukraine with Ukraine and Russia. Most of the documents are focusing on the war there. There are photos, satellite imagery, charts, maps, a lot of detail about Ukraine's combat power and Ukraine's capabilities. So this is really something that has made officials very embarrassed and very concerned that this is leaked.
And Dan, these documents, I know, don't just shed light on the U.S. spying in the Ukraine war, but they also show the U.S. potentially gathering intelligence on our own allies, including South Korea and Israel. So what are the implications of that and those leaks for national security?
That's right. There are documents that cite intelligence about internal deliberations in South Korea, that they're nervous about giving artillery ammunition to the U.S. that might end up in the hands of the Ukraine military. Also intelligence on Israel and alleged internal dissension about the anti-government protests there. But more broadly, this is potentially the biggest security breach of intelligence since 2013, when Edward Snowden, as we all remember, disclosed thousands of documents about electronic spying. This is a smaller scale. This is dozens of documents, but it's nevertheless potentially damaging. The Justice Department is investigating exactly how this happened and who may be behind it.
And Dan, as we mentioned, although U.S. officials believe the documents are most likely authentic, at least one of those obtained by us, NBC News, appears to be doctored. What can you tell us about that?
That's right. That's all part of the investigation. So one of these documents that was posted has two different versions. One version has a low number for Russian casualties. And as we all know, the Pentagon and independent analysts, and there are many anecdotal examples of this, the Russians have been suffering major casualties, very large number of troops killed and wounded. And so this raised questions why the same document appears with two different figures. There haven't been really other examples of that, but that has raised questions about, who is behind this, who would have altered that document.
And Dan, briefly here, how exactly did the documents end up on social media, obviously spreading pretty widely?
That's right. Well, the first these documents appeared, according to Bellingcat, that investigative Dutch group, is that they first appeared on Discord, which is a platform devoted to the game Minecraft, believe it or not. And then it spread across other social media platforms, Telegram, and then Twitter. But we don't know who is behind this or how this happened. It could be a leak. It could be a hack. Was Russian spying agents, were Russian spying agencies behind this? These are all questions that the Justice Department and the Pentagon are trying to answer right now. But in the meantime, there are many dozens of documents now out there publicly that look like joint staff briefings for the U.S. military leadership that were never meant to be posted publicly. So this is causing a lot of consternation.
Understandably, a lot to dig into here. Dan DeLuce, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.